Chapter 26. Blood Types. As Quinn put on his mask, he moved in closer to where Riley and the student was, making sure to move in and out between the trees. "Hey, do you want a beating? Pass over the credits now," Riley said, holding up the student against the tree. "But I only get 10 credits a day, they're mine, this isn't fair." "Since when has this world ever been fair? Blame the people at the top for not looking out for us," Riley said. As Quinn heard those words, he realized that Riley was in the same position as him. He was only a level 2 user and was just part of the weak bunch being pushed around by those above, but that didn't mean he could do it to others. That would fix nothing. Layla followed Quinn closely and had taken out her bow and arrow. She knew from last time if Quinn had put on the mask, he was going to act. "Do you want me to help out? It will be easier with the two of us," Layla asked. "It's okay, there's something I wanted to test out," Quinn said. The last time the two of them had fought, Quinn was only a level 1. Now he was a level 2 and he had also obtained a new skill which he wanted to test, and really was a great test subject. Quinn started to move closer and closer. He was hoping to finish of Riley in one shot, and this was the perfect chance while his back was turned. Finally, Quinn was just about in striking distance. That's when the student held up against the tree spotted Quinn. "Please help me," the student cried. "You idiot," Quinn shouted as he leapt forward, hoping he could be quick enough to hit Riley before he could activate his ability. The student's warning had given Riley enough time to activate his ability and turn around. However, Quinn's fist was fast, and even though Riley put out his hands to stop the attack, Quinn's fist still managed to hit Riley in the stomach. The impact was just like last time. It was solid and felt like he was punching a wall, but the blow managed to still hurt Riley a bit. The attack was slightly stronger, and this time Quinn's fist hadn't broken. I've been waiting for you," Riley said as he put 2 fingers in his mouth and whistled. Just then 2 students came running in from the park and into the forest. "You think you can take on 3 of us?" Riley said. Quinn looked at the 2 students running towards them, and that's when an arrow came flying from the words and hit one of them in the knee, causing the student to instantly fall to the ground. The other students went down to his friend. "What happened?" the student said. Then he noticed an arrow in the student's leg. Where did this come from? Quinn saw this as an opportunity and dashed away from Riley and started heading towards the other student. The skill said 5 meters right. "Well, show me what you got." As soon as Quinn was within 5 meters, he activated his skill Blood Swipe, at the same time swinging his hand across. A red line of power came surging out of Quinn's fingertips and hit the student right on his chest, causing a claw-like mark, but it wasn't enough to knock him out. Blood Swipe, Blood Swipe, Blood Swipe. Quinn then cast 3 more Blood Swipes, swinging his arm out. Each blow managed to hit the student dead on. With multiple marks across his chest, he had finally collapsed to the floor. HP 11 out of 15. An opponent has been defeated. 50 express granted. 110 out of 200 XP. Blood Swipe had no cooldown but did use 1 point of HP per swipe. As long as Quinn had HP, he could continuously cast out his Blood Swipe skill. Really seeing his 2 teammates who were of equal power level to himself be defeated in an instant, started to feel scared. His body was shaking and all he wanted to do was get out of there. He turned away from his friends and started running deeper into the forest. Quinn's speed was greater though and was easily able to catch up. When his attack was in range, Quinn cast 2 more Blood Swipes, aiming for the back of Riley's ankles. As they hit, Riley fell to the ground. Please don't hurt me, I'll do anything," Riley begged. "Oh really?" Quinn then placed his watch up against Riley's. "Hand over all your credits." "But if I do, I won't have enough credits for Dan, he'll kill me," Riley said. "Is now really the time to worry about Dan?" Quinn asked. Riley quickly transferred over 50 credits that he had obtained that day over to Quinn. "So will you let me go now?" Riley asked. Quinn smiled at Riley, although Riley couldn't tell due to the mask he was wearing. No, Quinn said. He then went up behind Riley and held him in a choking position. Riley tried activating his hardening skill, but Quinn's strength was still strong enough to get through and eventually caused Riley to pass out. That's for pushing me around in the canteen. Quinn then looked at Riley's body and noticed that his ankles were bleeding from where he had used the blood swipe skill. Quinn then went to his bag to pull out a test tube and held Riley's leg up, allowing the blood to slowly drip into the test tube, until it filled up. Quinn also filled up a second tube for testing later on. Next were the other two students. Layla had dealt with the other when she hit with her arrow earlier, and the other student had passed out from the multiple attacks of blood swipe. Quinn then did the same with the other two students, collecting blood from their open wounds and from where Layla's arrow had managed to pierce the student's leg. After they had finished collecting the blood, it was time for them to get out of there and leave the scene. It was getting late and it was almost curfew time. If the students were out past 10, then the guards would go out looking for you. It seemed like not only did the watches act as a credit device and power level indicator, but it was a tracker as well. Students who were found injured outside the school would be taken to the doctor's office. When the two of them arrived at school, it was still 9 o'clock, so they had an hour before they needed to head to their dorm rooms. That's when the two of them had decided to head to the school roof instead. It was quiet up there, and no one was around, so the two of them could talk freely. "So what do you need all the blood for?" Layla asked. "You know, if you need some blood you can just take some of mine anytime, I really don't mind." "Thanks, but I just wanted to test something out." Inspect. Quinn had used his inspect skill on each of the containers. The first was Riley's blood. Blood type B positive. "Here goes," Quinn said as he popped the cork open and drank the small tube of blood. "You have regained 5 points of HP. 14 out of 15 HP. B positive blood type has been absorbed. Plus 1 point of agility has been added." Quinn couldn't stop smiling as he saw the message. He then went on to drink the second tube of blood. Drinking the blood no longer bothered him once he found out the taste was quite sweet. All Quinn needed to do was convince himself it was some type of juice. "You have regained 1 point of HP. HP 15 out of 15. This person blood has been consumed before, no extra stats will be given." As Quinn thought, the blood still regained his health, similar to how a potion worked in a game, but once a person's blood had been consumed, it would no longer give him any stat points. Quinn then drank the 2 other test tubes from the other students. Blood type A negative has been absorbed. Plus 1 strength point has been added. Blood type A flat positive has been absorbed. Plus 1 stamina point has been added. Quinn looked at messages he received and started to notice a pattern. When he drank Layla's blood, which was a positive, he had gained a strength point. It was the same when he drank the A negative blood. Riley, whose blood type was B positive, had given him an agility point, and lastly, AB positive had given him a stamina point. Assuming being positive or negative blood type didn't matter so far. A type had given him strength, B gave him agility, and AB stamina. That left one blood group that Quinn hadn't drunk from yet, which was O. Quinn couldn't help but wonder what would happen if he drank the O type.